A very good afternoon and a warm welcome to all the officials, guests, and participants to today's webinar on clean cyberspace. The webinar is being conducted by Information Security, Education Awareness, ISEA, and Computer Emergency Response Team, India, CERTIN, as part of National Cybersecurity Awareness Month 2024. Information Security, Education and Awareness, ISEA, is an initiative of Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, MITI, Government of India, with an objective of capacity building in the area of information security, training of government personnel, and creation of mass awareness on information security. The project is being implemented through 52 institutions for academic activities, 16 implementing agencies, with one coordinating agency for training of government officials, and CDAC Hyderabad as coordination agency for National Awareness Program. Today, ISEA conducts the Cybersecurity Awareness Webinar to make the participants aware about the various threats, attacks, vulnerabilities, hygienic online practices for attack prevention and secured online measures. We sincerely hope that the seminar will benefit, the webinar will benefit the participants in understanding the subject and gain useful information. A hearty welcome to one and all once again. Before we actually dive into the session, which is clean cyberspace for today, let us start off with a brief introduction about the ISEA and its activities. Project Information Security, Education Awareness under its current phase has the following 5 key objectives, which is generating highly skilled and certified cybersecurity professionals, CISOs, grooming students towards products, solutions, and development in the cybersecurity area, strengthening the research and education in the information security, and generating cyber-aware digital naagriks through mass awareness by coming out with a portal, informative portal, which includes e-learning courses and various cybersecurity related information in various interesting formats, which is useful for the general masses and the publics in various walks of life. Apart from that, ISEA also intends to develop common infrastructure and shared resources in the area of cybersecurity. Generating of, as a part of its key objective of spreading mass awareness on cybersecurity, ISEA in the current phase has come out with a portal for digital naagriks. That is, digital naagriks are those citizens who are currently in the country involved with digital online activities in different areas of their life, be it children, teens, youth, teacher, women, parent, whatever be the role of the citizens, they do interact with digital devices. They do interact with digital devices and therefore come in contact with the online space in the current world. Therefore, we intend to spread the cybersecurity related awareness, which is a necessity in the today's world, through mass awareness activities like awareness workshops, webinars like these, conducting awareness weeks, conducting various community public informative programs through All India Radio, Doordarshan, developing mobiles in which generate cyber fitness related awareness material, that is generating mobile apps, which is cyber fitness or cyber awareness apps, coming out with various multilingual awareness contents in website, handbooks, through handbooks, posters, cartoons, videos, and leveraging print and electronic social media for dissemination of cybersecurity related content is how we try to actually promote cybersecurity awareness among digital naagriks. Apart from this, we've also come out with role-based awareness and progression pathways. That is nothing but the online e-learning courses which have interactive programs for various stakeholders on cybersecurity related topics and aspects. We have come out with online training programs in the area of cybersecurity for kids, for students, for women, for teachers, parents, etc. And we also have we are also coming out with competitions, quizzes, and cyber clubs with the intention of cybersecurity gaining awareness and its importance being recognized by all stakeholders from all the walks of the life. This is a slide which depicts the various online training courses which we are coming out with. In fact, they're already made available for the consumption of the stakeholders and the participants. Participants are encouraged to visit the site awareness.isea.app and look at the content in the various interesting formats, in video formats, in the newsletter formats, in the advisory formats, posters, clippings, reels, which are made available for the awareness of the public. Apart from this, we have this online e-learning courses for kids, cadets, girls, youth, parents, teachers, specifically designed for them. So they are most welcome to visit the site and have a look at the various training courses and also the information which is made available on this particular site, awareness.isea.app. Apart from this, we encourage the participants to join with us in this initiative of ours of spreading the cybersecurity awareness and through content creation and review through crowdsourcing platforms in multilingual format. The participants, anyone who's interested to join with us is most welcome to come and join with us in the content creation or outreach activities in conduction of the webinars and workshops, or in joint development of cyber awareness courses for digital naagrik online e-learning courses, or promote cyber awareness through social media platforms and mobile applications. In any way that the participants are interested to join with ISEA and contribute towards building a cyber secure nation, they're welcome to do so. And they can join with us on this by registering on the site in the link which is given below, which is awareness.isea.app/join with us. So do visit, register, and give us a helping hand. We today are conducting this particular webinar as part of National Cybersecurity Awareness Month 2024 in coordination with CERTIN. As part of this particular awareness webinar, we also have put across, as the slide represents, the pledges, quizzes, the awareness bites which come about in various formats on a daily basis. Apart from this webinars which are conducted and security related topics for students, employees, women, MSMEs are also put across. So any participant who's interested to go get a certificate can actually register themselves for appearing for the pledges or quizzes and gain the certificate as part of NCASM 2024 by ISEA and CERTIN. With this brief introduction, let me move ahead with today's session, which is on clean cyberspace, which is on clean cyberspace, being delivered by Mr. Kunal, who's from CERTIN. Let me give a brief introduction to you about Mr. Kunal, today's speaker. Mr. Kunal is a cybersecurity professional at CERTIN with over 12 years of experience across various industries in the field of cybersecurity and web development. He is passionate about automation, researching new vulnerabilities, and understanding attack TTPs, which is tactics, techniques, and procedures. Mr. Kunal is dedicated to raising awareness about cybersecurity, aiming to safeguard Indian digital space through education and proactive measures. I warmly welcome Mr. Kunal to the session and thank him for his presence today. May I request you, sir, to kindly take over the session?
Yes, sure. 1 minute. Ma'am, can you see the screen?
Sir, it is visible, but it is on slideshow, sir.
Can you see the screen now?
Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible and your screen is also visible. But if you can put up the slideshow, then it will be like full screen.
I've put the slideshow. So is it not visible? 1 minute.
Just check, sir. It is right now the other slides are also visible in the tab, which is on the left side. In the PPT menu in the top, you will have file, edit, view, insert formats. After slide, there will be slideshow. So once you click on that, you will be able to. Yes,
Can
sir.
you
Now it's fine,
screen?
sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Kunal Sharma, working as scientist C at Certain. So I'm currently looking at Cyber Swachhta Kendra operations at Certain. And today I'll be talking about clean cyberspace, and we call here as Cyber Swachhta. So I'll move to the slide and then we can share our views. So I'll start the presentation with the idea that I have read in one of the major books called The Art of War, which tells that, and I quote, if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the results of hundred of battles. The simple meaning of this is, if you know yourself and your enemies, you don't have to worry about the consequences of the attacks that enemy can enforce on you. So since I am from coding background, I'll try to explain you the same concept in cybersecurity through a code. And I have written a small code snippet which has three scenarios. First scenario is, if you know the enemy and know yourself, that is, you know the tactics, procedures of your enemy, that is the cyber attacker, and you know yourself, that is, you know your strengths and weakness of the system, then you are pretty much secure. You don't have to, you can handle any incident that can happen during a cyber attack, and you are well prepared of for that particular scenario. The second scenario which comes is, you know yourself, you know your strengths, weaknesses, you know your system, you know the assets you have, you know your vulnerabilities, but you don't have the knowledge of the attacker, what actually techniques the attacker is carrying out in the current scenario. So you might gain something, some victories you might gain, but you will always be in a reactive state. So you'll always be patching the issues after it has come. So you'll remain in that reactive state, and the, there will be some unexpected problems that can occur in an event of any incident. So the last, but not the last state, that is the vulnerable state, is you neither know the enemy and nor yourself. This state I actually have seen in many organizations. The organizations are mostly in the last state, where they don't know whether what all assets they have, what are the strengths and the weaknesses of their system, and neither they know about the attacker, what all things they can do on the organization. So in that case, you are in most vulnerable state. a single event can become crisis at that position. So the idea behind this presentation is, you know about the techniques, tactics and procedures of the new age attackers, plus you know the strengths and weaknesses of your system, so that you are fully equipped and can handle any incident that may occur at your organization or at a customer level. So the two points which you will take from this presentation will be the knowing your problems. So actually we currently we don't know what all issues are already present in our organizations, what all vulnerabilities we are actually sitting right now in the organization. So you'll know the problems, you'll know the tactics and procedures of the enemy, plus you will find the solutions, how to mitigate those problems and how to patch those vulnerabilities, so that you have a clean cyberspace at your disposal. So I'll start with a background, why actually we are here. So basically, to set the context, I'll start by highlighting how technological achievements have transformed government operations, making them more efficient, transparent, and citizen centric. Both central and state government have launched various e-governance initiatives to improve how they interact with the citizens and the businesses. These initiatives aim to make government services more accessible, efficient, and user friendly. So, there is an adoption of automation, digitization, and digitalization. These have allowed the governments to streamline internal systems and the processes. This ensures a more effective interface with citizens, businesses, and other government bodies. So let me come to the various channels through which government interact. So the first one is government to government, wherein the government provides seamless information exchange and collaboration between various government departments. There is a government to citizen, where citizens can file tax, licenses, and bill payments directly. There is also a other way around channel where citizens can participate in governance, like governance redressal systems and feedback portals. There is also a channel from government to business, which allows them to register businesses, permits, and compliances. Business to consumer is also there, but it is not directly related to the government. So it is a part of a broader digital ecosystem that influences how business interact with their customers. So this was from point of view of government. So let me come to the point of view of customers. So just coming on to the citizens part, digital platforms have revolutionized IT usage nationwide by making high-speed internet affordable and widely accessible. This has greatly facilitated services such as mobile banking and easy access to common service centers, significantly boosting internet adoption. Just to give you a context, do you know how many of the population is on internet? It is approximately 52%. That is, half of the country's population is currently on internet. Almost 78% of the people are on mobile cellular connections, and almost 32% of the people are on social media. So as we all know that roses always comes with a thorn, same is the case with digitalization. This digitalization has brought many challenges with it. The rise of cybercrime has been a growing concern, wherein as the technology advances, cyber criminals are evolving through tactics to exploit new vulnerabilities. We have seen here that almost every 10 seconds a new malware variant is created. So I'll quickly go through the merits that the digitization has brought with it. The first and the foremost thing which I think is, it has reduced corruption. Earlier, there was a huge manual intervention which provided the people the opportunity for under-table dealings, bribes, and favoritism. But this digitalization has removed all such things and have uh, created very less manual intervention. The second thing is efficient delivery of services. uh, we do from our home only, we can access healthcare services online, uh, healthcare services, medical services, and paying taxes, applying for licenses. Everything is done from our comfort of our home. It has also improved the quality of life, as education, utilities, healthcare is available without any delay or unnecessary bureaucracy. We have also reduced the time in availing those services. Earlier, we used to stand in queues and waste our time, which is now done easily through online transactions. There is also enhanced transparency by providing digital records, automated tracking, and real-time updates. Digital system ensure that information is readily available to those who need it. Uh, the digitalization has also provided government a tool to make the citizens aware about its schemes, policies, and safety measures through various online platforms, social media, and digital campaigns. Citizens are now more aware of their rights, available services, and how to access them. Uh, So I'll quickly go through the avenues where we can see the impact of digitalization. The first and the foremost, since you all are from, many of you are from government departments, you must have come across to this GEM portal, that is Government E-Marketplace. Digital platforms like GEM have revolutionized procurement by making the process transparent, efficient, and accessible. It has also provided us competitive pricing and reduced delays. The second one is e-land records. These have brought transparency and ease of access in seeing our land records. Citizens can now view and verify their land records online, eliminating the need for middlemen and reducing land disputes. There is also e-office, which has digitized documents, approvals, and workflows. Online exams are also being conducted, and it has helped the children to for continuity in education. The other one is e-recruitment, which has streamlined hiring process, and it is being used in both public and private sectors. There is e-payment and e-banking services also. So digital payments have enabled faster, secure, and contactless transactions. It is easier for people to manage their finance, pay bills, and conduct transactions without visiting a bank branch. Scholarships are also there. We can track our application status and receive funds directly into our bank accounts. Since we are in October and November, and we have seen our elders, the one who are working in the government department, they have to provide life certificates to the government, and they have to visit the bank branch to produce the certificate. But now with digitalization, pensioners have to submit their life certificates online, eliminating the need to visit offices physically. E-subsidiaries are also there, which ensures that farmers, students, and other eligible recipients receive the benefits without delay or middleman. And in online booking and reservations in railways, airways, you have already seen that we don't have to stand in queues and wait for our turn and then take the tickets. It is done in seconds now from various IRCTC and other portals. In the passport service also, we can easily schedule our appointments, track the status of the application, and there is no need of middlemen in getting the passport. In the field of e-courts also, we can see the case status and filings. Online system have made it easier to manage and track legal proceedings and enhance transparency and reducing the backlog. Medical In the field of medical consultancy, the medical facilities have now reached to the remote areas just because of digitalization, allowing them to consult doctors without having to travel. Last but not the least, there are other IT enabled services, which like online tax filing, e-learning platforms, smart city projects, which have contributed to a more connected and efficient way and a smart way of living. So these all are some of the avenues where digitalization has made its impact, and we can see them in day-to-day life. Now, we have seen the advantages of digitalization. Now, let me move to the problems which the digitalization have brought. So, I've tried to categorize these problems, these issues, into three main categories. The first one is the national level, the attacks that are done at the national level. The second one is the organizational level, and the third one is the actual individual level which we face in day-to-day life. So I'll briefly discuss some of the attacks that are performed at various levels. So the first one is attack on critical infrastructure. These cyber criminals disrupt essential services of the nation like power grids, transportation system, healthcare, water supply. Such attacks, they try to cripple nation's functionality and lead to severe consequence of public safety and security. The second one are the state-sponsored attacks, where the cyber capabilities are used as a means of warfare and sabotage by the nation countries to by the countries to disrupt the other nations that are enemy of those nations. The third one are the DOS and DDoS attacks. These are denial of service and the distributed denial of service. These attacks can take down critical services, critical national services, by overwhelming them with the traffic. These are non-genuine requests, and the servers are busy in serving those non-genuine requests, and meanwhile they don't serve the genuine records, and therefore the service goes down. Such attacks can disrupt government services, financial institutions, and even emergency services. Then there are cases of cyber espionage where the government and organizations are targeted by hackers seeking to steal uh, sensitive information for political, economic, and strategic gains. There are chain attacks where attackers exploit vulnerabilities in the supply chain to infiltrate into the original organizations. They target the third party vendors, which are actually the weak links in your secured networks. I'll come to this supply chain attack in more detail in the future slides. Then there is a disinformation. This is also one of the attacks that we see day in and day out, where the spread of false information through digital media can manipulate public opinion, destabilize societies, and undermine trust in government institutions. So I'll talk about this deepfake under this disinformation scenario, and we'll go through the details. Then there are data breaches where unauthorized access is done to the national databases, and the sensitive data is leaked. These sensitive data includes military secrets, citizen information, and other confidential records. So these are some of the national level attacks that we face. Then comes the organizational level issues. So one of the most popular organization level issue is phishing, where the attacker tricks employees into giving sensitive information. In spear phishing attacks, through social engineering, the specific individual is being attacked, and he divulges his sensitive information. Then this ransomware attack is also happening at organizational level. Then the other one is advanced persistent threat. So these are prolonged attacks where the attackers infiltrate networks and remain undetected for long periods, gathering information or disrupting processes. So the malware will remain dormant for months, and you will not see any spike in your network activity. And slowly and slowly, they'll take all the details that are present in your system. Then there are defacement cases. Hackers may breach organizational website to deface them. We have seen many such cases during the period of Independence Day or Republic Day, where Indian sites are hacked by some neighbor countries, and then the flag of their country is being hosted at our website. So this affect the reputation and the trust that is built on that website. Then there are domain stalking, where attackers monitor and hijack domain names to deceive users. This leads to phishing schemes or malware distribution. Then there are malicious codes, malwares like virus, trojans, spywares. These can infiltrate the system, steal information, and then finally disrupt operations. There are also scanning and probing that is going on, where cyber criminals frequently scan networks and find weaknesses that they can exploit and get entry to the organization. DDoS and DOS is same as I have already explained in the national level. Then there are targeted attacks. These are planned and executed for that specific organization or that specific industry, like oil and gas industry or banking industry, with their specific modus operandi. Then there are email compromises, scams, where attackers impersonate executives or employees to trick organizations uh, and make unauthorized payments. There are data thefts. Then there are insider threats. See, employees who are disgruntled, they either maliciously or accidentally cause security breaches by leaking information and violating protocols. One of the new concept, actually the concept is old, but the name is new. That is shadow IT, where the employees use unauthorized hardware or software which is not known to the admin. So the admin cannot take care of its security, and they are using that in the organization. These are the weak links that can create security gaps and expose the organization to risks. So these are some of the attacks that are happening at organizational level. The last but not the least is the individual ones, where the first one is social engineering. Attackers manipulate individuals by making them giving their confidential information, by exploiting their trust, because people are providing their photos, their information, and the social at the social media, and these attackers are using that information and creating a scenario or story wherein you trust them and then you provide them the required information. There is email hacking and misuse. Identity theft is one of the thing where the people get the information, the attackers get the information from open source OSINT methodology, and they steal the personal information for financial gains and fraudulent activities. Financial scams are also happening every day, wherein we see that there are fake lotteries, investment schemes, and e-commerce scams that are happening daily. There are also this is one of the physical theft that I can say, that your laptop or your mobile uh, is used, and they are stealing that, and then if there is any sensitive information that is stored in it, then they can attackers can get hold of that. Then there are cryptocurrency related, wherein the fraudulent investment schemes and ransomwares are also demanding these cryptocurrencies uh, in ransomware attacks. So basically, these issues represent a unique challenge and requiring a tailored solution to mitigate risks. So now I'll come to the agenda. What is the agenda of this presentation is actually the background of the digital world. This I have already covered. This uh, the second one is recognizing vulnerabilities. Uh, Understanding where our system might be weak or exposed help us better prepare for potential threats. So recognizing vulnerability is one of the important things. The next one is understanding malware. That is the scenario where you know what attackers is capable of doing to you. So we'll study what are malwares, what are the types of malwares, how they operate, and how you can get protected from them. We'll briefly discuss about the concept of botnets, which are actually the network of infected device and are controlled by the attackers. This is one of the prevalent attacks that we have seen in a large number, not only in India but throughout the world. So I'll cover a small bit for this concept of botnets. Then I'll briefly discuss about some of the case studies about the new and emerging threats, cyber threats. The sixth one is signs of infected system, so that you know the symptoms that your system is infected and you can take the appropriate action. The seventh one is introduction to cyber hygiene, which is the actual topic of the today's presentation. Then eighth one is are the preventive measures and the best practices we should take. The other one is the steps to take, what steps you should take if you are affected, where to go, where to report, what all these will I'll be covering in this slide. Then I'll be covering some free utilities which you can use to enhance the cyber security of your machine. The last one is the introduction to the Cybersecurity Kendra, which is actually an initiative by Indian government aimed at creating a secure and clean cyberspace. We'll discuss the roles, services, and how you can utilize them to enhance your own cyber hygiene. So I'll start with what is vulnerability. So vulnerability is essentially a weakness or a flaw in a system, software, or network that can be exploited by the attackers. Basically, it is like a security loophole. So there are various factors that results into these vulnerabilities. The first one are the programming errors. These are basically inadvertently introduced bugs by the web developers, and these can be exploited easily by the attackers. Then there are cases of misconfigurations, where there is an incorrect setting on the servers or firewalls, and these are exploited. The third one is there are outdated softwares uh, that haven't been patched or are legacy technology, and that leaves it exposed to the known threats. The other one is insecure system design, wherein the security is not thought about at the stage of design, and that the vulnerability persists throughout the design phase, development phase, and finally to the production phase. So one of the example I have listed here is CVE 2024 3400. This is common vulnerability enumeration. It is a number given to the vulnerability for command injection in Palo Alto Network PAN OS. This illustrates how the attackers can exploit a specific flaw to gain unauthorized access. So the next one are the exposed services. These refer to the network services or ports that are accessible from outside and may not be adequately secured. So there are various cases we have seen at certain also, where the organizations leave the web servers, database servers, remote desktop protocols open, and it is not open for their own employees but for whole internet. So these are the exposed services. Then there are cases of misconfiguration in the services. and which lacks proper security measures, which are easily exploited by the attackers. So why it matters, why we are studying this vulnerability and exposed services? So it is crucial to understand and address these vulnerabilities and exposed services, as attackers are constantly scanning our networks for weak spots. There are scanners that are working 24/7 to scan for the network ports. Uh, Failing to secure these can lead to unauthorized access and data thefts or service disruptions. So I'll quickly go through the common vulnerabilities which we see day in and day out, and a small mitigation step can patch that and make you secure in the cyberspace. The first one is unpatched software. These softwares haven't been updated and leave known vulnerabilities because there is a number, CVE number. With that CVE number, the details of that exploit is also available. So you have left a known vulnerability in your system, so anyone can scan that for the vulnerability and can exploit that vulnerability. So there are unpatched softwares. Then there are weak or default passwords. We have seen many a times that the organizations don't even care to change the default passwords, and these passwords are available at the vendor's manual. So anyone can look at it and then try to get access to your system. So to mitigate that, it is requested to please change that passwords, have a strong and unique passwords, and have multi-factor authentication if possible. Then there are SQL injections where the attacker manipulates the SQL queries and then can gain access to your database. He can view, delete, or modify the data as required. So there are proper mitigation programming skills that are required to uh, prevent these SQL injections. So you should follow those secure coding practices. Then there are cross-site scripting, wherein the attacker injects the malicious script into web pages, and when the user visits your web pages, their information can be stolen as that malware goes into their system and then can get the data out of the system of the victim. Then there are buffer overflows, where attackers exploit memory allocation errors, which can cause programs to crash or allow them to execute any code they want in your system. So let me move on to the common exposed services that we see. The first and the foremost is the remote desktop protocol. See, this protocol was used to manage the systems in big organizations where the systems are placed at different locations. So they manage those systems remotely using this RDP. But the problem is with the organizations, these organizations keep the RDP port open for all. So in the internet, if you use a simple nmap command, with that nmap command you can see what all ports are open, and you can directly log in into their systems using brute force or some other attacks. So this RDP should be open. If you have to open, you open it for your employees by providing an access control list at the firewall, and keep it to yourself and don't display it to the internet. The other one is file transfer protocol, which is used to transfer files, but this protocol is not secured, and anyone can see, look at the files that are being transferred. So it is suggested that you use more secure FTPS to encrypt those communications. Uh, the other one is open ports. There are ports for SSH, SQL databases, SMBs, and these are open for all. Anyone can scan and get into your organization. Then there are misconfigured cloud services. Uh, we have seen many cases of open S3 buckets where the all the data that is available is can be seen easily by any of the members who is on internet. So you uh, either take the help of the cloud vendor, or you yourself study and then use those secure practices to protect your cloud services. Then there are legacy protocols like telnet was used to access the systems. So these legacy protocols should not be used, and a more secure version like for telnet ssh is there, so you use that ssh so that your communication cannot be accessed by any attacker using man in the middle attack. So now we have covered the vulnerabilities that our system has. So now we'll understand actually the attackers by understanding the malwares that they give to that they attack with to our system, and then we are infected. So actually, what is malware? Malware is basically comprised of two terms, that is malicious software. Uh, it is used to harm, disrupt, or gain unauthorized access to the computer system, networks, or servers. So attackers can use malware to steal data, spy on users, hijack users, or even take full control of the infected systems. How malware works is you can get the infected file from any of the media like pen drive, email, or any file link you click from any website. uh, these are the infected files. Then there are malicious links that are available in the emails or the compromised websites. Then there are attachments which spreads malware, where malware can be hidden in the attachment. Then there are compromised websites that are infected and host malicious scripts. As and when you go to that website without even clicking, that that malware file is downloaded to your system. So I'll quickly go through the examples. What we have seen, the major ones. The first one is WannaCry. It happened in 2017. Actually, it was a ransomware that exploited the vulnerability Eternal Blue exploit, and it encrypted files on the infected system, making them inaccessible until ransom is paid. So this ransomware is seen throughout India, and the only mitigation step from this ransomware was if you have backups. So there was no key that was found for these for decrypting these encrypted files, and the only way out was if you have backups you can restore your data. The second one is ZS. It is basically a banking Trojan that records keystrokes and steal login information and personal data, mainly targeting financial transactions. Then there are Mirai botnets. These are used to form a botnet and launch distributed denial of service attacks. They overwhelm the servers with the traffic and then cause the service disruptions. So I'll move to the distribution of these malwares across operating systems. So basically, the prevalence, the where they actually persist, depends on the factors like system popularity. Actually, most of us are using Windows, therefore you can see that most of the malwares are seen in the Windows operating system. The usage and the internet security measures. The first one is the Windows, that is the most targeted OS due to its extensive use worldwide. The second one is Linux. Basically, in Linux, desktops are not affected much. More the primarily target is the servers, and we generally consider them secure, but it is actually not immune to the attacks. The third one is the Android, which is a common target in the mobile sector. And because it is an open system and its widespread use, it makes it vulnerable to various types of malwares. And then there are some malwares that can work on all or multi OS and can operate across multiple systems, spreading easily from one platform to another. So after discussing, we'll discuss about the types of malware now. So some of the common types I have mentioned here. The first one is the Trojan. It disguised us as legitimate software, and it tricks users into installing that legitimate software. Once it is active, it can steal data and create backdoors, and then compromise your system security. There are botnets, and we'll move in detail for these botnets. These are basically network of infected devices, and these are controlled by remote attackers. Then there are worms. These are basically other types which don't need even user interaction. They replicate themselves and infect multiple systems rapidly. Basically, we can see that if our system is slowing down, there is slowdown in the network, there is increased resource consumption. It means there is a sign of some worm present in our system. Then there are ransomwares. These are actually encrypting your data and then asking you for ransoms. It results in severe financial losses and actually disrupts the business reputation and the operations. Then there are adwares. We have seen that there are various unwanted advertisements that are displayed. Basically uh, uh, can track browsing behavior, leading to privacy concerns, and it interrupts user activities, and your UI experiences slowed down because of these adwares. Then there are cryptocurrency miners. These basically hijacks your system's processing power and then mine the cryptocurrency using your power, and then gain the cryptocurrencies out of mining. And these exist without our knowledge. So significantly reduces device performance, and there is increased energy usage we'll see in our electricity bills because of these cryptocurrency miner. So these are some of the malwares that are commonly prevalent. Now we'll move on to the botnets. So basically bot has come from robot. So these are generally refers to any automated software that performs repetitive tasks. These bots need not be actually malicious. There are good bots also, like there are web crawlers and chat bots that helps index our websites. But what we are talking about are the bots that are malicious ones. These malicious bots operate autonomously on an infected system and without even users' knowledge. They are remotely controlled by an attacker through a server called command and control center. I'll come to that. And the actual person that is controlling that command and control center is the herder that can send commands to these bots through that command and control centers. So basically, these bots are our systems after being infected. They behave as a zombie computer and they work on the instructions received from command and control centers. So botnets basically are network of these compromised devices controlled by the hacker. The hacker or the bot herder uses command and controls servers to send instructions which the bots follow. Uh, they uh, they remain in your system stealthily, running silently on infected device to avoid detection. Uh, and they perform various tasks like spamming, data theft, and distributed denial of service. Next, we'll go to the command and control center. Basically, it is a centralized system through which hackers control a botnet. Bots are programmed to check in with these CNC servers regularly and to receive the commands, making it easier for attackers to manage a large number of bots effectively. Without CNC infrastructure, basically CNC is the mind of these botnets. So these botnets cannot function without these CNCs. So these are the typical victims of these botnets. These can be individuals, these can be businesses. We have seen bots throughout the organizations. There are government agencies where the cyber criminals may target these government systems for sensitive data extraction, and even service providers are not left with these botnets. and they aim for overloading systems and leading to service outage. So what is the modus operandi of these botnets? Basically, their devices are compromised through malware downloads, phishing attacks, or exploiting security vulnerabilities. Once they are downloaded, they try to connect to these CNC servers that controls the botnets. The CNC servers then provide them with the instructions, and the bots then follow that. These instructions are usually data thefts, sending spams, and launching DDoS. The one of the features of these botnets is it remains in stealth, and you won't even know that these botnets exist in your computer. So what are the motives of these botnets? These botnets are basically the army of zombies that are used by attackers for some major attacks. The first one is distributed denial of service attack, where the botnets flood target services with the traffic, and thus causing disruptions of the services. Since these botnets are the attacks are coming from different computers, so it is difficult to track, and therefore DDoS attack persists. Then there are spam distributions. These bots are used to send spam mails, and in turn, they distribute malwares and launching phishing campaigns. For cryptocurrency mining, also, these bots are used. The power of your system is used to mine cryptocurrency and gain from those mining. So you have to pay for your increased energy consumptions, and there will be a loss of performance in your machine. These are also used for as a launchpad for further attacks like data breaches or deploying ransomware. So after we have learned the motives of botnets, the what are the challenges in detecting these botnets? These are very stealth. They perform very stealthy operations, so they often mimic legitimate network traffic, which makes it difficult to identify them. They are dynamic in nature. They'll change the IPs of the CNC. So if you are blocking those CNC in your firewall, they'll change the IPs, and again they'll connect to the bots. They'll also use the sophisticated techniques like obfuscation and encryption, so that it is not easily you cannot easily identify that botnets persist. So what we can do, so we can follow best practices so that we are not exposed to these botnets. So if you are exposed, then you should quarantine your system, uh, disconnect it from network immediately so that the botnets don't spread further. You straight away change the passwords of your secure accounts that might have been compromised because your system had bots. Then there are alert connected devices. You have to alert the connected devices so that they don't fell prey to these botnets. You have to run a botnet cleaning tool so that you disinfect your system from these malwares. In case after running that botnet cleaning tool also the malware doesn't go because new age malwares persist, you have to then get a complete format your system so that that botnet is cleaned. uh, and I'll quickly talk about Cyber Swachhta Kendra also. We also provide that free botnet removal tool that you can use to clean your systems. So now we have learned about the vulnerabilities and the malwares. Now I'll take some case studies and some new age era emerging cyber threats that we see today. So the first and the foremost is the digital arrest, where criminals impersonate law enforcement officials or government officials and claim that the victims are under investigation. The scammers usually demand payment, preventing it as a way to avoid arrest or legal action. This approach is designed to hit to your fear factor, and then it pushes the victims to act without verifying the authenticity of the claims. So how the scam works, basically the victim will receive an email or a call or a message and through various platforms like WhatsApp, where the scammers assert that the individual is involved in any illegal activity, which can be a money laundering or a drug trafficking or other serious crimes. The scammers further intensify this fear by posing as some police guy, and to avoid this immediate arrest, the victim must pay a certain amount as fine. And the scammers also conduct video calls so that they pretend like officials from law enforcement agencies, and which creates a more realistic picture of that story. So there are two news which I have highlighted for this digital arrest. The first one is where a senior official from National Building Construction Corporation, she was a victim, where she was contacted by individuals impersonating like custom officials, and claimed that the parcel contains illegal items which were fake passports, ATM, drugs. They claimed that the arrest warrant against her has been issued, and she needs to cooperate to avoid immediate arrest. The They also conduct video calls saying she is under digital arrest until the CBI arrived at her home. And after they created the fear, and then the official ended up losing 55 lakhs, so that, and then found out that this was just a scam. There was also one of the women in Madhya Pradesh who was also fell victim to this scam. The fraudsters claimed that her account was used for bank account was used for money laundering, and she has to pay the fine so that she can get away with the punishment. And meanwhile, she lost 46 lakhs with this scam. So what we have learned from all these attacks is we should not fear. The scammers play on the natural fear of legal trouble. So we should be aware of these types of tactics, so that we know that these are happening in the market and we don't have to fall prey to them. We first have to actually verify with the relevant authorities directly, so that we don't fall prey to these incidents. The next one is the fraudster claiming to purchase resale furnitures. These attacks have arisen in the near future, where the scammers are increasingly targeting online resale platforms, where they pose like as potential buyers. The fraudster will often send fake payment receipts, leading to seller to believe that they have received the payments. So they'll send you these receipts that they have actually paid for the for your like sofa or any equipment you are selling on that these websites. And they'll then threaten you that if you don't repay them back because they have paid you extra, they'll call the police, and then you have to repay the extra amount, and actually they have not paid anything because they have generated these receipts, fake receipts online, and you fell prey to them. So if you have not received any payment, you be firm that you have not received, and let them call to anyone uh, who they are threatening to you with. So one of the major case that anyone can fall prey to these attacks. So this case study shows that the daughter of Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal fell prey to this kind of attack, where she was trying to sell a sofa on the website, and to make the transaction, then the buyer came, and they told that he'll buy the sofa, and he also made some transactions, some small amount transactions, 10 rupees, 20 rupees, to appear legitimate. And then the imposter sent her a QR code instructing her to scan it to receive the payment. So the imposters sent her the QR code and then tricked her to enter the UPI pin. The UPI pin is used just for approving your payment, so it cannot be used to receive the payments. So by making stories, they tricked her, and she lost almost 34,000 in two installments. So what we learn from this incident is the QR UPI code is used just to verify that you are paying to the receiver. It is not used to receive the payment. So keep in mind and be alert while using these kinds of websites. The next one is the deepfake scams. So these are the technologies, deepfake technology. These it involves AI to produce synthetic media that mimics real people. They can create videos, audio clips where individual appears to say or do things that they never did. So they basically collects the photos and the videos that you have posted on the social media. They train their models, and after training their model, they create a video which which impersonates you, and you'll not be able to make out that that the video is not actually of your own actual self. So basically, I have mentioned two such cases. The first one is uh, where deepfake videos of well-known Indian personalities like Virat Kohli and Mukesh Ambani was used to promote fraudulent investment schemes. The scammers then published thousands of phishing domains daily and created fake videos of such personalities, advising them to invest in such schemes. And after investing, actually, many of the citizens have lost their money. There is also one of the case where Sadiq Khan, who is the mayor of London, his deepfake video was created, and in that video, inflammatory remarks were used. The fake audio almost led to serious disorder, and in sensitive times. Then basically these fake videos will actually damage your reputation and then erode your trust in the digital media. So what actually we have learned from these deepfake videos? First of all, you should not post your photos and videos uh, that are not actually required on the social media, so that these attackers can use them and then create a deepfake video. The second, you should not actually rely on these videos, and you know that there are no free lunches. So if there is a scheme that is endorsed by these Mukesh Ambani and Virat Kohli, you first check it, so that you don't fall prey to these kinds of attacks. The other one is a supply chain attack. These attacks basically uh, occur when hackers exploit the vulnerabilities within the third party vendors, allowing them to infiltrate and manipulate the primary organizational network. So they have far-reaching consequences. So I have highlighted two such attacks. The one is Solaris wind attack. Basically, the hackers from Russia targeted Solaris Wind, which is actually a IT management firm that is used in US. And in Actually, this case was most significant cyber espionage campaign in the history. The attack began in 2020, and it basically affected 18,000 organizations globally. The modus operandi of the attack was the attackers attacked Solaris Wind Company, and in that company they created a Trojan virus in the Orion software update. So the Solaris Wind, as usual, sent the update to all its customers. The customer downloaded the updates, and with that Trojan, the malware went to those customers, and that malware created backdoor into the networks of the affected companies, and there was huge data breach that happened with this Solaris Wind attack. The second one is the most recent one, wherein uh, basically outdated pagers used by Hezbollah group became tool of destruction. Uh, uh, Israel attackers basically intercepted the consignment of these outdated pagers, uh, which was prepared by some third party. They intercepted the consignment and then added the explosive in the battery, and then they used it as a uh, mass kill weapon, and then based on their whims and wishes they attacked they exploded the pagers that killed many people in the Hezbollah. So what we have learned from these supply chain attacks, that you use a zero trust policy. So you vet all the hardware and software that is coming to your organization from third party vendors, because actually these third party vendors are the weak links to your secure network. So you continuously monitor on these supply chain partners to identify and mitigate potential vulnerabilities. You have to invest in threat intelligence and incident response plan so that you respond swiftly if you are being attacked by these supply chain compromises. The last one, the last case study is about IoT vulnerabilities. So, many of us are using these smart home devices. These are IoT is basically a network of physical device connected to the network, allowing you them to collect and exchange data. So these, first of all, these IoT devices are actually made for the convenience and the flexibility with least heed to the security part. So we have to follow various best practices to actually use these IoT device with caution. So, what in this example, what we have seen is the attackers can get access to your Wi-Fi, and then they can use your webcams or your smart devices and can monitor your daily daily things you do at your home. So this will impact hugely to your privacy. They can spy on you and your families. They can monitor daily routines and habits, and then they can communicate with the victim through these devices, leading to harassment or further intimidation. So, what we actually learn from this type of attack is, first of all, you change the default password that is provided by your ISP. So, you change and make it much more strong and unique. You look for regular software updates of these devices and get them patched as and when the patch is available. You have to use two-factor authentication so that even if your password is gone, you have other factors that can secure your network. So after going through these case studies, I'll quickly go through the sign of infected devices. So these are some of the signs. We can symptoms. We can see if our device is having these symptoms. We can then use uh, mitigation steps. So the number one is system slowing down. Users can notice that programs and files takes longer than usual to load. Your system might freeze frequently. So it may be the case that malware or virus uh, is there, and it can consume system resources such as CPUs, memories, leading to these degraded information performance. Then there may be cases of unexpected pop-ups and ads. So uh, these pop-ups and ads can be intrusive and can interfere with your user experience. So there may be a case that adware or malicious software is installed in your system, which can be frustrating, and they can also expose users to malwares. Then there may be a case of unusual network activity, wherein the users might observe unexplained spikes in network activity even when no major program is running. So there can be a case where malware could be sending data from system to external devices. So you monitor network activity, and that can help identify potential infections. Then there are cases of blue screens, that is blue screen of deaths. So users may experience unexpected restarts and loss of unsaved works. So there may be case that malware has corrupted your critical system files, uh, so leading to instability and crashes. So this is a serious sign, and you have to take immediate action to assess and clean the system. uh, then you might see that there are unknown programs or files which you have not installed. So there may be trojans or rogue softwares that may install itself without your knowledge. So that can masquerade as legitimate applications. So you regularly check for installed programs or files to ensure everything is recognized. Then there are cases where we have seen that the firewalls or antivirus programs are turned off, or are unable to update, or there is some security settings you have made and that has been changed without user intervention. So this happens when a malware often disables these security softwares to avoid detection and continue its malware activities. So you regularly check and maintain security settings to ensure that they remain active. So after learning all these, I'll come to cyber hygiene. So basically, just as we maintain physical hygiene to ensure our health, we have to maintain cyber hygiene so that we can protect our digital lives. So cyber hygiene refers to a set of practices and steps that individuals and organizations can take to maintain system health and improve security. So the key components which cyber hygiene encompass are regular software updates, strong password practices, data backups, and secure connections. So why cyber hygiene is important? Because it protects your personal and sensitive information. Individual can reduce the risk of identity theft and financial frauds. You can it can help prevent cyber attacks and data breaches. Regular software updates can patch vulnerabilities that hackers exploit to gain unauthorized access. Then it enhances overall security posture uh, and maintain good cyber security hygiene. So now I'll come to the do's and don'ts. Regularly change your passwords. It should be strong password, a mix of letters, numbers, and symbols. So you should enable multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication is basically a security system that requires more than one factor to verify a user's identity. So there are three factors: something you know, which is a password, pin, or a passphrase; something you have, that is a token or a smart card; and something you are, a biometric such as fingerprint or facial recognition. So this MFA adds an extra layer and make it significantly hard for attackers to access your accounts. You can use Google Authenticator for these enabling this MFAs. So you backup data regularly. You should follow a 3-to-1 backup rule that we study. The 3-to-1 is you should maintain 3 copies of your data and store it in 2 different medias. And in those 3 copies, 1 copy should be stored offsite. Then you should limit personal information sharing on social media. There are privacy settings that are available on social media that controls who can view your information, so you should use that. And you should be selective about what you should share on online. Then you should keep your softwares and systems updated. You should regularly update patches, security vulnerabilities that hackers might exploit. You should be able to recognize phishing emails. There are, in the earlier sessions, we have seen that how we can identify whether the mail is phishing or not. Then there are uh, remote work security. So you should secure VPNs. Uh, you should always use a secure VPN to access corporate systems when working remotely. You should have password protected video meetings like we have this meeting, so that any other random person cannot join that. and you should have encrypted file sharing services so that there can not be any man in the middle attack. For homes, routers and Wi-Fi security, you should change your default credentials of the routers. You should enable WPA3 encryption. There are WPA1 and WPA2, but those are not secure enough. So you should move to WPA3 encryption. There are features uh, available, limit exposure of IoT devices. So if you are not using your IoT devices, so you should close them. You should not keep them in your rooms where you are sleeping. So uh, you should limit your exposure. You should have regular monitoring, uh, uh, and you should check for updates that vendor has provided. So with these do's, we have also don'ts that we should consider for cyber security. The first one is don't download email attachments from untrusted or unexpected sources. Always verify the source of email before downloading attachments. Don't reuse password across multiple accounts, because if a website is hacked, your that password will be hacked and all your accounts will be hacked. Don't ignore security alerts from the vendors. For using public Wi-Fi's, uh, don't use public Wi-Fi's, and if you have to use, you use VPNs. Then don't post sensitive information online that I have already shared with you. Then there are some financial hygienes that you should practice. The first one is that UPI PIN is always used for making payments, not for receiving, as we have seen in the case study also, that you use it to only give money and not receive money. Then don't share your UPI pins. Sometimes the attackers pose as service bankers, and they ask for your UPI pin. So a trusted banker will never ask you that. So you don't share your UPI pins. Then avoid UPI payments with screen sharing apps. So there are some cases where the screens are shared and you are using that UPI payment. So they'll see all what you have added in those UPIs. So you avoid UPI payments with these sharing apps. You double check the pay details. Don't download unknown apps and download it from Play Store. Avoid side loading. You regularly check your transaction history so that there is no transaction that is not being performed by you. And you report your lost or stolen mobile device, because it can be used for some fraudulent activity, or they can get access to the data that is present in your phone. So these are certain cyber hygiene practices for financial hygiene. And if you are actually being attacked, so what are the things that you should do? So the first section is that you secure your account, you change your password so that further action cannot be taken place. You notify your banks and get your accounts blocked. You then scan for malwares on your systems, mobiles. There are various scanners that antivirus softwares are available in the market. You have to preserve the evidence so that when you are reporting, you have the screenshots, you have the logs, you have the transaction details. Then you can report the same to the national helpline number for cybercrime, that is 1930. You can report it on cybercrime.gov.in. There is a new UPI dispute redressal mechanism also created by NPCI. I have shared the link in this slide. So after reporting to them, then you can follow up on these complaints. So now I'll provide you with some online free utilities that you can use to get cyber safe. The
Mr. Kunal, I'm sorry to interrupt,
Yeah.
but shall we wind up? Will we be able to wind up in another 5-10 minutes?
Yeah, I'll wind up. I'll wind up. Okay. So the first one is this password strength checker. It lets you know that your password is strong or not. So you can use this passwordmonster.com, and then you can see that whether your password is strong or not. I have created some scenarios wherein you can see in how much time my password will be hacked. So if you see that simple Kunal will be hacked in 33 seconds, and if I add the special characters and capital letters, that password may take 1 million years to get hacked. So this is one of the utility that you can use. The second one is enhanced safe browsing on Chrome. The Chrome provides you with the safe browsing utility, wherein the default setting is standard protection. In the standard protection, the Google crawls and analyzes the web and discovers harmful sites. It creates a block list of those, and then Chrome downloads this block list in a stipulated time period. And then if you check in those block lists, if there is a website that is infected, then it will warn you that please be safe of those websites. But the issue with this standard protection is these phishing websites can change domain faster than this X minute video and get around this protection. So the new setting that is available is enhanced protection. This enhanced protection use real-time scanning, and at the time of your browsing only, they'll see that list and check if the website is infected. It also uses machine learning and vision-based phishing detection, and then it will show you that your website which you are going to is illegal or it has some malicious content. So you can enable that in your privacy and security settings. Then there are secure connections which help you to browse to only websites that are using HTTPS. So if a website is using HTTP, it will warn you that you are seeing this warning because this website does not host HTTPS. So it will let you know that you are going to some vulnerable website or some attacker's website. Then there are then Virus Total is available. It is a free online tool that analyzes files and URLs, and it uses 70 antivirus engines and URL domain block listing services. So you can use your URLs and files to check if it is infected or not. So now the last part is I'll go through the introduction of Cyber Swachhta Kendra. Actually, Cyber Swachhta Kendra was envisioned by Ministry of Electronics and IT to create a secure cyberspace. So I'll quickly go to the services that CSK provides to the citizens. Uh, these are the the CSK is available for citizens as well as for the organizations that are onboarded to CSK. So for the organizations, we take their IPs and then we report them about the botnets, vulnerable service, exposed services, list of C2 servers and the malicious links, so that they can be aware that their system is vulnerable or they are in state of attack. We also provide mitigation tools. So in our website, this is for citizens also.
Mr. Punal, you're not audible.
Microsoft Windows and Androids. We are also publishing alerts on latest malwares with their tactics and IOCs and mitigation measures on our CSK website, that is csk.gov.in. We also provide assistance to the customers as well as to the citizens in mitigating these vulnerabilities and malware infections. So this is the impact that we have created in various sectors that are onboarded to CSK by providing them daily notifications and feeds. So this is the way you can get onboarded to our CSK portal. So if a citizen is being infected and it is seen that a citizen is infected, you will receive message like this on your mobile or on your desktop. So if you go to our CSK website, then there is a tab for security tools. You go to that security tools, and these are the antivirus companies that are Indian antivirus companies onboarded on CSK. We are providing them domain knowledge of the malwares, and they are adding this signature into their antivirus, and then they are providing you this antidote. So if you see that you are having botnet infected machine, you can directly go to this security tools and get free botnet removal tool, and then you can disinfect your machine. So this is the way you can download it from Play Store. So I'll wind up my presentation with the key takeaways. These are type of attacks we have discussed. We have discussed meaning of cyber Swachhta and the tools and techniques to stay safe online. Uh, so last is the security is not complete without you. With security, we always talk about these firewalls, procedures, and the policies. But actually, if the citizen or the employee is not aware of the vulnerabilities and the malwares, then that security is not complete. So with that, I wind up, and thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Kunal, for the informative and knowledgeable session. I'm sure the participants must have benefited out of this very informative session. And the session is open for any important queries which the participants might have for the speaker. There was one question which I viewed in the chat box, which was how to secure the Wi-Fi.
So for securing the Wi-Fi, first of all, what we have seen is there is a default password that is set in by the ISP. So you first of all change that. Then there are encryptions that are available in your Wi-Fi: WPA1, WPA2, WPA3. So we advise everyone to move to WPA3 so that it is more encrypted and there are least chances of man-in-the-middle attack.
Okay, sir. And I don't see any other major questions which are coming up from the participants. How far is the mobile hotspot safe? Is one of the questions which has just been posted by Ms. Lavanya Madhu.
So mobile hotspot for mobile hotspots, you first have to monitor that who all are accessing your mobile hotspots. There may be a case someone is accessing your mobile hotspot, trying to access your mobile hotspot by using brute force attacks. So you have to monitor that, and then if it is not a legit person, you have to remove that. And if you are using someone else hotspots, then that person should also be known to you, and you don't have to rely on some random guy and use its hotspot that is available for free or is passwordless.
Yes, sir. So I think that is about it. So we shall now, we have come to the closing part of the session, and I thank Mr. Kunal for his informative lecture and also his time, taking the time for the session today. I also thank all the participants for their cooperation and support and making this webinar a success. I think there is one more question, which Miss Lavanya Madhu wanted to ask. One more question is there. What is that, Miss Lavanya? Okay. She says it's not me. So let us end the session. And I thank all the participants for their cooperative and cooperation and support in making this a success. Thank you one and all once again. Thank you, Mr. Kunal.
Okay.